Then in December 2008, December 27th, Israel launched massive airstrikes on Gaza, which commenced a 22-day campaign, which saw the killing of over 1,400 Palestinians in Gaza. 2 days after they launched that campaign, we tried to send an emergency boat to Gaza. And we loaded it with medical supplies and doctors, 4 doctors, 2 of them surgeons, to go and help doctors in Gaza and journalists, because foreign journalists weren't being allowed into Gaza. And we sailed. In the middle of the night, on December 30th, Israel rammed our small boat, causing significant damage and leaving the boat to sink. Well, it didn't sink. Thank goodness the captain was able to get it safely to a shore, and everyone was okay. To give you a break, show you some footage, I'm going to play a small clip for you that'll go over this and give you more of an idea of what we're talking about. Because after that, after they hit the boat, maybe they thought we were done, but we weren't. We didn't want to give up. Not only because the violence being perpetrated in Gaza was more than we had faced, but also because we didn't want to give in to this notion that military might is stronger than the rights that we're fighting for. So we just mobilized to get another boat and to sail again. And this will probably tell it better than I can.
The situation is extremely unbearable, a man-made humanitarian crisis, and the international community, governments, institutions, and of course people human rights are not doing anything about it.
On December 27th, 2008, Israel launched an assault on the Gaza Strip, using its aerial, naval, and ground forces to attack the people of Gaza from all directions.
And it's not just 1 or 2 factories destroyed, it's systematically. You have to go and see it on the Eastern Road, factory after factory. The biscuit factory, where they're producing terrorist biscuits. The ice cream factory. The cement factory. And on it goes. How are we to restore people to a dignified existence if there is no basis? There's no economy, there's no basis for an economy. These people are being destroyed in every respect, back to independence. The bottom line here is that we have to see it in very simple terms. The truth. Justice. You can keep all your money, you can keep all your aid, medicine, food, all of that. What the people of Gaza want in the first instance now is justice.
22 days later, with over 1,400 dead and thousands injured, Gaza lay in rubble. In addition to its regular arsenal, Israel deployed weapons such as white phosphorus against the civilian population in ways that amount to war crimes. The mass destruction was aimed to bring Gaza to its knees after 18 months of complete closure had already devastated the health and well-being of the Palestinians.
أصعب حرب علينا كانت الحرب، لأنه في كل الحروب هذه كانت إسرائيل بتواجه جيوش. في هذه الحرب احنا كنا المستهدفين، يعني ما في جيوش عشان بيوتنا، شوارعنا، أرضنا، مواطنينا، فوسفور من السماء، صواريخ، طيارات بتضرب في مين؟ بتضرب في المدنيين. كل الضرب كان في المدنيين.
ممكن 2 دبابة بعيدة عن البيت 10 أمتار يعني بس، ووجهت تفتحها على البيت. طلعت أمي وزوجتي وبناتي وأنا. كنا رايحين غاية البيضاء. كانوا 2 جنود برا الدبابة، واحد بياكل شوكولاتة وواحد بياكل شيبس. احنا ما واقفين، ما قلناش لا نطلع برا ولا نرجع على البيت. اتفاجئنا بيطلع جندات من الدبابة ومعاه سلاح وبيبدا يطلق النار على الأطفال. معايا يعني 16 من الأطفال. طلع بنتي أمل عمرها 2 بطنها فرطة. كانت حامل دبدوب، كان معها دبدوب أمل لعبتها دبدوب صغيرة بيض، انعدم الدبدوب معها.
Palestinians in Gaza have remained steadfast and even during the onslaught found ways to overcome the intense efforts to break them.
نتعامل معاه بصوت، يعني في الحرب تعاملنا بسرعة، أي طريقة تصير نتعامل معاه. ونمشي فوق الصواريخ وتحت الصواريخ.
We are feeding 900,000 people. I can only get in enough aid at the moment to feed 30,000 a day. So do your mathematics on that. How long it takes to get to the last person to wait to be fed. So it's like, you know, hold on there now, we'll get to you. When?
4 months before Operation Cast Lead, with Gaza already facing food shortages, rising rates of malnutrition and anemia, and with the international community barely looking on as Israel squeezed Gaza with a punishing blockade, the Free Gaza Movement launched its first boats from Cyprus to break the criminal siege. Our 2 small boats became the first to reach Gaza in over 40 years. Material that Israel had barred from entering Gaza, and more importantly, taking to Gaza parliamentarians from Europe and the Arab world, Nobel Prize winner Maguire, government officials, human rights observers, doctors, and journalists. All could not enter Gaza any other way. After the start of Operation Cast Lead, the Free Gaza Movement attempted to sail 2 emergency missions to Gaza to challenge Israel's military onslaught and to shake the world to action to halt this latest crime. The first ship, the Dignity, with many journalists and former U.S. Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney on board, was brutally rammed by an Israeli naval ship and damaged.
New developments to report in the seas off Gaza. CNN reporter Carl Penhall was aboard a boat, a ship called the Dignity, that was approaching Gaza with an intention to deliver medical supplies. There has been a contact with an Israeli Navy boat. We understand Carl Penhall is on the line. Carl, what can you tell us?
The boat, while still in international waters, has been rammed by Israeli patrol boats. The boat, our vessel, has been damaged.
That boat, while according to our CNN reporter Carl Penhall, who was on it at the time, was in international waters, was rammed by an Israeli patrol boat, and there you see the boat itself had to make way back to Tyre in Lebanon as it was taking on water. Also on board that craft was former Georgia Congresswoman, former presidential candidate Cynthia McKinney. She joins us now via the internet from Tyre in Lebanon. And Congresswoman McKinney, can you tell us what happened? We had our Carl Penhall saying that you were in the international waters, clearly in the international waters, when accosted by confronted by these Israeli patrol boats.
Well, I wouldn't call it accosting. I would call it ramming. Let's just call it as it is. Our boat was rammed 3 times, twice in front and 1 on the side. But let me also state for the record that what we experienced earlier today pales in comparison to what the people of Gaza are experiencing right now as we do this interview. Our mission was a peaceful mission to deliver medical supplies, and our mission was thwarted by the Israelis and the aggressiveness of the Israeli military.
The second ship, the Spirit of Humanity, was nearly capsized in international waters by Israeli warships and had to turn back.
We are today in international waters. We are very far from the blockade area. We are in a very legitimate mission. We are far from the blockade area.
On June 29th, the Free Gaza Movement launched its latest mission, carrying symbolic amounts of building supplies and materials to help Gaza rebuild, in addition to medical equipment and toys for children. On June 30th, the boat was surrounded by Israeli naval forces. Movement is now moving on to phase 2 of its mission to break the Israeli siege of Gaza.
Yeah. I'll stop it there. I'll talk about phase 2. That video was made after the Spirit of Humanity was attacked. And at that point, our vessels had been violently intercepted 3 times. 3 times we didn't make it to Gaza. So the question again, what are we going to do about it? We can't give up. But it also didn't make sense anymore to even those who support us to send another boat that was just going to be attacked. So we decided that instead of sending one small boat, we're going to send a whole flotilla. Now, how we were going to get money for all these boats, we didn't know, but that's what we decided we're going to do. And we started building this flotilla, going around, campaigning, trying to get grassroots support, fundraising. We had wanted to go that same summer, but that didn't happen. After 1 month, we didn't have the finances. After 4 months, we didn't have the finances. After 6 months, we still were not even close. Then, and our Turkish organization, IHH, some of you may have heard of it, they are involved in humanitarian work in about 125 countries around the world, including they were amongst the first in Haiti, in Pakistan, probably in Japan now, in Bosnia. They said that they will pledge a boat to our flotilla, which was huge for us because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to take these humanitarian aid organizations that just gave aid to Palestine and have them confront Israel's policies that left Palestinians in need of this aid. So IHH said that they're with us. Then a couple of other groups in these different countries put together coalitions and said that they would get a boat also and they would come with us. So come May 2010, about 10 months later than we had hoped to go, but we had our flotilla. We were originally supposed to be 9 boats, but in the end we were 7, with one of them sailing about 5 days behind the others because it was a cargo ship that we named after our colleague Rachel Corey. And we suspect attempted sabotage, though we can't prove it. But anyway, because of dealing with that, it fell about 5 days behind. So we were 6 boats sailing together. On May 30th, we met in the middle of this Mediterranean. 3 cargo ships, 3 passenger boats. Altogether, we were carrying almost 10,000 tons of cargo. Things that the people of Gaza needed, mainly construction supplies. Because after Operation Cast Lead, which destroyed thousands of homes and buildings and businesses and schools and hospitals, Israel didn't open up Gaza, didn't let them bring in rebuilding supplies. That's mainly what we were carrying, but also some medical supplies and other things that they had requested. And about 700 people from 36 countries. On May 30th, in the evening, around 11:30 p.m. at night, the Israeli Navy made contact with our boat. Contacted us over the VHF radio, much the same way that they did here. At first, asking us who we were, what our boat registration number, where we were coming from, who our captain was, where we were going. And we answered them. Told them we're going to Gaza. And then they told us that Gaza is an area of hostilities. And we can't go there. And so they demanded that we turn around. We told them that we have every intention of reaching Gaza. We are unarmed civilians, carrying only humanitarian aid for the people of Gaza. We constitute no threat to Israel, so don't use force against us. And I kept repeating over the radio, we are unarmed civilians, don't use force against us. Don't use force against us. They disappeared off the radio for about 4 hours, then 4:15 in the morning. One of our colleagues who was on watch, doing the night shift, she called down to